Hey friends, okay, I'm not even going to call this one a podcast. This one's going to be super short, but I just got to share with you how amazing our root class went yesterday. It was so good. We had a bonus class, right? Because this is normally our spring week, but the junior hires had been pleading with us to do a special class with them, and I'll give you the details about that in a little bit. And then when the elementary kids, some of their older siblings were in the junior high class, and so they asked me, they're like, hey, we heard you're doing this special thing with the junior hires. We want in on this. This is gonna be amazing. We want to do this. And so I finally relented. So I did 2 classes on the spring break that kids were pleading to do with me. You're like, okay, hang on. You gotta tell me, what kind of class was this that kids were pleading, literally pleading? We had everybody show up to these classes. No one was skipping out. It was amazing. And not only that, they were hearing God in powerful ways. It was super cool. And that was what our focus was on hearing God, and that we can hear God way more often than just at church or in our Bible times or while we're worshiping or praying. Those are all super important as Christians, as Christ followers. But God wants to speak to us in so many other ways. And so we started looking at junior hires and I, what are some things that people don't like? Do you think God can speak to us even through things that we do not like? And we came up with, yeah, because God can use just about anything to speak to us. Think about Naaman and the donkey. Think about the God confirming his word through all these different random things. Paul having his hands tied together with a belt. Things like that, like all kinds of things through the whole Old and New Testament. And so we started thinking, okay, what's something that we don't like? What's something that things people hate the most? And you know what we came up with? TV commercials. We did. Isn't that funny? So TV commercials were our assignment. We were going to see if God can speak to us even through TV commercials. And so I put together this list of commercials that we were going to watch together as a group, not just to laugh at, although some of them are pretty funny, not just to get inspired or stirred up on the inside, although there were some of those as well. But the purpose of it was to train ourselves to hear God speak to us, even through something as distasteful and disliked for the most part as TV commercials in the middle of your favorite show. And guess what? These kids did it. It was amazing. The junior hires, they jumped right in. They started, bam, this is what God says to us. And they were getting stuff that I wasn't getting. I was getting stuff they weren't getting. We were able to build one another up in our faith and really stir and encourage one another on in our ability to hear God's voice. It was so good. Elementary, it took a little bit longer to get started because this was so outside their wheelhouse. There wasn't a strength that they had developed yet. And so it took a little more work to get started, but by the time we were done, man, every hand was going up. They're like, I want to share what God's speaking to me through this commercial. And it's not that these commercials are anything super spiritual. They're pretty much the opposite of that. They're not about church. They're not about God. They're not about whatever, I should say the last one has some pretty cool core moral values, I would say, that we as Christians hold, even though it was done by a life insurance company in Thailand, is who made this commercial, and it's so good. It's my favorite, all-time favorite. So if you want to check these out, the kids said you have to share these, so we're sharing them. We're going to make it this month's freebie. So if you go to rootbibleacademy.com and click on the freebies button in the menu, that's going to get you the fully downloadable slideshow. We have it as a keynote and as a PowerPoint, and a little intro video from me about what to do. It's sweet, it's short, it's easy, but it can open up the door for an amazing family time. Do this as a family. I mean, you might get some good chuckles out of it doing it yourself, and you're going to probably hear God's voice. But the real sweet spot is if you can do this with a group of friends or as a family This is going to be so powerful. It really opens the door for you all to feel even more comfortable than ever before about sharing what God is speaking to you and giving you the platform as the parent or as the leader of the group to be able to speak into people's lives and coach them into how they can hear God's voice better. It is dynamic. All this from secularly produced TV commercials, one of the most distasteful things in at least America's entourage, whatever you would say, portfolio of things that we dislike in our world. And so check it out. You got to go to it. freebies.rootbibleacademy. Switch that, rootbibleacademy.com, then go to the freebies tab. And you're really going to enjoy this. So that's it. That's why I said it's not even going to be a podcast. I just couldn't wait to share this with you because it was so powerful, so fun, and so easy. Check it out. All right. I'll be back tomorrow because I have some more ideas of ways that we can train our kids to hear God's voice, and which one includes actually Root Bible Academy's classes this month, April, I should say. Not quite this month yet. It's all about prayer. It's all about connecting with God, not just how to pray long theologically based prayers, but how to really connect and hear God's voice. If we can teach our kids to do this, it's going to be amazing. It includes parent tools to make this real in your home, the classroom times, and those of you that run children's churches, there's actually a curriculum that partners really well with this at kidnation.org. And speaking of partner, if you're interested in partnering with all the things God is doing through Root Bible, go to give.rootbible.com. God is doing some amazing things. He's put on our heart that he wants us to reach 1,000 new families, not just reach, but spiritually equip 1,000 new families this year through what we're doing, through what really he's doing through us. And so if you want to partner with that and be spiritually responsible for these 1,000 families growing and encouraging, building each other up in their faith, then consider partnering with us. Prayerfully partner with us. Don't just give to give. I hate that kind of stuff. But find out if this is something God wants you to partner with. Pray about it. Give the amount he says cheerfully, and your reward is going to be great. All right, so that's it. Enough about that. Back to rootbibleacademy.com. Freebies. Download this slideshow. Little intro video goes with it, and it's going to be so good. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you all later. Bye.